Hi guys, my name is Parnali Dharia. I'm a woman international master, and today we are going to have a look at Vantika's game. Vantika Agarwal is a woman international master from India, and this game was played in between India versus Poland in the FIDE Online Olympiad. So Vantika is playing against Alicia in this game. So just a moment guys, let me check if the settings are all fine and if I'm live. Hello Ashrita, hello Ashwin, hello Seema. Alright, so here d4 was played. Am I live guys? Hello Rajesh, hello Sayam, hello Kiran. Yeah, so we are going to have a look at Vantika Agarwal versus Alicia, and this was between India versus Poland in the FIDE Online Olympiad. So before I begin guys, I am just going to tell you about the Unacademy subscription. So you can use my code Parnali16 that you can see on your screens, and you will get the first month at just ₹99 instead of 1500 rupees. So at the end of the class I'm going to show you how you can get the subscription, but now let's begin with the game. Hi Stephen. So d4 was played, and this is a very instructive game because this game ended in a draw, but it was really interesting because initially Vantika was just outplaying her opponent, and then later on she misplayed a bit, and then her opponent got the counter attack. So the position got really complicated. So let's see. d4 and f6. Knight f3 was played. c5, d5, b5. Guys, do you know this opening? Bishop g5, d6. So this is theory again, and this is not that common. Hello Seema. So this is not that common, but it is a really interesting line. Takes, e into f6, and now Vantika played e4. So here usually in this structures, black is going to try to play on this side and white is going to take a break, or he is going to exploit this weakness here. So white will try to play against this and this bishop here, which cannot really develop very quickly, and black will play on the queen side. So here a6 was played to protect this, and now a4. So this is an important move. Why? Because you want the c4 square for your knight or for your bishop. So you're forcing your opponent right now, because this is not possible, because you will end up losing the pawn here. And if you don't do anything, like if black makes some other move, then this is the problem. Like after takes, this is a pin. So that's why b4 is sort of forced after a4, and now you have this really nice square for the knight or for the bishop. So your idea is going to be around exchanging this bishop and this bishop, so that you will end up with a beautiful square here, and you can post your knight here and the bishop can't do anything about it. So that is going to be your plan of action. Bishop d3. So here there are two moves that are possible. One is bishop d3, other is knight b d2, and again the idea is same and it's probably going to convert, but I like to play in this move order, because then you are keeping the option of developing this bishop to either c4 or like giving a check here. So that's why I like to keep that move with me, but bishop d3 and it almost converts. a5 was played, and I think a5 is not a good move. Right now g6 should have been played, because I think Alicia just wanted to confuse her opponent, and that's why she played this. But right now it's too premature, and maybe she wanted to play bishop a6 so that she can take control of this square. But right now it's way too premature. Maybe g6 would have been better, because bishop g7, and then you're threatening f5. So you have some threats on b2. Knight bd2, g6, castles, bishop g7. And can you tell me what should white play here? This is a really interesting game, guys. Like, you will learn how to actually play positionally and how to completely squeeze your opponent. Okay, alright. So here bishop b5 was played. The idea being that now if bishop d7 is played, then you can exchange, and then you again have this square as I mentioned earlier. Okay, rook e1 is a possibility. It's definitely a possibility, but right now rook e1 is not doing much, because this is anyway not possible. So you need the rook here, because maybe you want to play f4 later on. f4 and then f5, and then like completely block this bishop. Yeah, Seema, yeah, Ashwin, you're right. Bishop b5 is correct. Ujan, knight c4 is also possible, but for knight c4, I think Alicia just wanted to play bishop a6. So that's why Vantika played bishop b5 first. And now Alicia made a mistake. Knight d7 would have been better, because knight c4, and now this bishop a6 and capturing the knight is not possible. Am I clear? But Alicia just played bishop d7, and it is not the best move here, because as I mentioned, black should try to keep this bishop, or he should try to exchange this bishop with a knight, so that it will end up with opposite colored bishop, and then if the knights are exchanged, the game might end in a draw. And after this move, you're completely giving up control of this square, because now knight c4, and if you exchange here, then this pawn is really weak, first, and secondly this can be a passer. So that is one issue. And until you don't capture here, how will you develop the knight? Like, you can't really get it here, and even after knight a6, knight c7, it's not that effective. Okay, queen c7 was played. It's almost forced, because you have to protect this pawn here. And now Vantika plays knight fd2. This is a really nice move. Why? Because she wants to play f4, and she is just keeping these knights very tight here. Also, the queen can join in with queen e2, or this rook can come here, and then you can have a break, or you can just maintain the position, because eventually black will have to do something. He will have to take a break, otherwise this bishop will be really a sad piece. So knight fd2 is a good move. Castles. And now Vantika played bishop into d7, knight into d7, but I think directly f4 was slightly better, because now even if you play f5 for instance, then you can capture, and then maybe you can play e5, or you can take here. Hello Adarsh. But I think she just wanted to play this, because knight into d7, and anyway she played f4, so she just got rid of this bishop. And can you tell me who's better here and why? Hello Sayam, hello Rajesh Kumar. So here, just compare the pieces, alright? So what is this rook doing here, and what is this rook doing? Nothing much, right? Even this bishop it's just there, and it's a fianchet to bishop, but it's not open, so it's not really active. Knight is developed, but it doesn't have a square. If you see, it doesn't really have a square, because knight b6, you exchange, takes, and now it will be a really sad position. Not this, but it will be really sad position for black, because he can never take out this knight from here. You're right, Ashwin, absolutely right. You too, Seema. Ujan, black's king is safe, but there's no activity. Actually, black is passive. It may look as if it's safe for black, but it's actually very passive. This is blocked, and knight is also not doing much. And if you see the rooks, my rooks are more active, and whenever I get a chance, I'll play something like queen e1 and queen h4. This rook can go here, and a lot of attacking prospects here. Also, this knight f6 square won't be available for black, because there's a pawn here, so h7 is a weakness, and you can attack that. And if you manage to play something like this, then the bishop is really a dead piece, pretty much. And even if you get this good square for the knight, one second, so even after f5 you get a good square for the knight, but I can just exchange it and play knight c4. So that is why white is better here, because for him it's very easy to play and make moves. Alisha played rook a6 here, and it is a strange move, because she just wants to protect here, but I think she could have played something like f5, and even though it ruins the pawn structure, at least it opens the bishop. Yes, you're right, only chess. So if f5 I play, then this bishop won't have any moves. So that's why I think even if this means like sacrificing a pawn and ruining a pawn structure, it should have been played. But okay, I think in rapid it's slightly difficult, and it's difficult to judge like what's correct and what's not. So here rook a6 was played so that the queen can be freed from protecting this. Queen g4. So Vantika is just playing out normal moves. Someone suggested queen f3. Okay, queen f3 is also possible, but I think she just wants to keep this option of rook f3 and then this move. So that's why queen g4 was played. So the activity of white is a lot more than black. So that's why white is better. Queen c8 was played here, so that maybe knight can move, or I don't know what happens to this knight, but this knight has to move somewhere, maybe rook e8 and knight f8. And then if the queens are exchanged, then f5 is possible, most probably. So also if the queens are exchanged, there won't be any attack on this h7 point, and the bishop will then be really strong, even if right now it looks blocked. Queen h4. So Vantika realized that, and she just prevented this exchange. Yeah, we shouldn't move this pawn, you're right, because if you move the pawn, you're right, if you move the pawn, then she will get this in tempo, and this is under attack, so you can't capture here. So queen h4 was played with the idea of playing f5, as well as to play something like this. So it's pretty clear that white is just going for the h7 pawn, and even if now f5 is not played, then I think it's just too late for black. It will be really difficult to defend. So so she should have played f5, but she played rook e8, and I think the point was to get the knight to f8. So she just very passively defending. And now can you tell me what should be the move? What should white play here? Yeah, you're right, discovered attack. If b3 is played, then f5 is discovered attack. You're right. Rook f3, I think you mean. Okay, rook f3 is one possibility, but what do you think about this move? This move should be played or rook f3. There are two moves possible. What is more correct? There's slight difference. So okay, I'll tell you. Yes, you're right. f5 is more correct. Why? Because now here you could have played this, but then again she would have gotten knight e5 with the tempo. So you've moved the queen so that you don't lose that tempo. No. Tempo is basically when you move a piece and you're attacking something, so your opponent has to waste a move in order to defend that. So that is called a tempo. What you are saying is, I think what you're saying is either a fork or I think double attack. So tempo is basically you win an extra move. So right now, if this is played, then this is a tempo, because I anyways want to play f5 as black, and now I got to attack the queen and then I played it. So you can no longer play this. Okay guys, I'll just quickly go back and show you what a tempo means, because I think this is very important to know. So I'll just randomly show you. e4, d5, ad5, queen d5, and knight c3 is winning one tempo. So you're attacking the queen and developing. So if the queen moves somewhere here, then you play this move, and even if he develops, you play knight f3. So again you got a tempo over the queen. So he has to move the queen, and you basically queen has moved 3 times, like 1, 2, 3, and you got 2 pieces developed extra in that. So you got like 2 moves extra. So that is tempo. Okay, great. Alright, so we were here looking at, and now f5 is more correct. Why? Because firstly, you're not giving this opportunity to black, and now you can even play g4 and completely block this bishop. This bishop won't have a life, because bishop h6 is not possible, because queen into h6, bishop can't go here, and it has no way out. So it is trapped. It's like a skeleton in which it's trapped. So f5 is correct, Vijita, Seema, all of you. Okay, great. So now queen d8 was played, and I think Alicia was trying to play something like queen e7, queen f8, and then get the bishop out from h6, because that is the only way out for the bishop. And if the bishop comes out, then he can exchange. Black can exchange, and it will probably end in a draw. Why? Because knight will sit here, black's knight will be here. There won't be bishop and knight. So knight versus knight, and this knight has a strong square. So it will be fine for black. But right now it's already bad. So queen d8, you have to prevent that idea. How can you prevent that idea? Bishop can't go to f8. It can go to f8, but the point is, what will it do even after going to f8? Because it cannot go out, right? Where will it go? Like, there is no way out. There is no diagonal. Nothing's there. These pawns are all blocking. Hello, Ronit. So that's why bishop f8 is not possible. Queen d8, and how can you prevent her idea, like with queen e7 and queen f8? So right now we have to use prophylaxis. We have seen the idea. Idea is to play queen e7 and queen f8, and then play bishop h6. So how do you prevent bishop h6? Vijita, h5 is possible, but right now after h5 I'll play g4, and I'll break open all this and you don't have enough pieces on this side. So I can just move king h1 and rook g1 and this whole thing will be exposed. You're right. So we can go rook f3 and rook h3, but right now rook a e1 was played. Just a developing move. Queen e7. So now we know for sure that that's the plan, and now we can still defend it with, we have an option here, rook e3 or rook f3, but we just go rook f3. And now if queen f8, you can just play rook h3, and again you've prevented this move because you're attacking this. So you realize that this was black's freeing move, bishop h6, and you prevented it. So now you're really suffocating black. So for rook f3, black played knight e5. And now what should be the move? Since the knight can no longer go here, what can be played? Okay, so h7 is the weakness and it cannot be protected with the knight anymore with this move. So you just play rook h3. And now Joss, I couldn't understand what you're exactly trying to see. I think what you mean is if g5 is played, then you play queen h5. Then you're right. Ashwin, only chess, you're right. Rook h3 is the correct move. So now you're provoking your opponent to move this, and if it's moved here, then just look at the bishop then, because it doesn't have a life, it's just a dead piece. And if h5 is played, then this is a weakness, so you can exchange or you can just keep this and play something like rook f1. So you completely control the position and you're not letting any breathing space for your opponent. So this can be one thing, or you can even play this move. I think even this works because you're attacking here and you are threatening this move. Also, if bishop h6 is played, you can even capture on h5 because this is a pin. So a lot of moves are possible, and definitely white is better here. So the opponent played h6, and I believe h6 is maybe h5 was slightly better, but okay, h6 she just wants to guard the pawns with the bishop. Ujan, it's possible to exchange the knight. It is very much possible, but the thing is she is just waiting because there is no hurry, because even if right now, maybe not right now, but like h6 and then you can either save the knight by knight e3, which happened in the game, or you can just let it be, this knight be, because even if black takes, you can take and you have good knight versus bad bishop. So this bishop is bad because it is blocked by its own pawns. Ashwin, it's possible. I think you mean this and this, but it is slightly unnecessary because you are exposing your queen side. Like maybe your opponent can capture, and now your opponent got a tempo because he captured and he anyway wanted to play something like queen e5 to attack this. So whenever you exchange or whenever you capture a piece, you're also giving your opponent an extra move because he wants that piece to go there. So that is one thing you should remember. So right now you may feel that rook h3 is also bad because anyways black wanted to do this, but we want black to play this as quickly as possible. We want to provoke that, but this is not something we want to provoke because it will only be bad for us. The queen will enter suddenly. Vijita, I think h5 was slightly better. Why? Because you're still having some something to do with the bishop on h6, but now it's not even possible. So that's the only reason that I feel h5 was better. Otherwise, I don't know, this is just very passive for black. Not losing, but very passive. So here knight e3 was played because I think Vantika wanted to play something like this or g4, or maybe something like knight f5 if this takes place, like g into f5, then knight f5. So see, she is just keeping the pieces because she has more space, and it is a good thing to remember that if you have more space, then you shouldn't exchange, because that means your opponent has less space, which also means that like he has more pieces to coordinate, and because of less space, he will have lot of suffocating and a lot of problems with activity of pieces. So rook a8 was played, and this knight is no longer protecting d6, so she just moved the rook. And now you play b3. So if you see, all the pawns are mostly on light squares. So it's definitely, like if you compare like just a bishop versus knight is remaining on the board without the two knights on e5 and e3, and without all the major pieces, that is queen and rooks. So if we have an ending with knight versus bishop, knight is going to win the game because many weaknesses. First of all, this, and the bad bishop. So now we can think about exchanging, or we can think of attack. So if you're attacking, don't exchange. If you want to go to endgame and then play, then just exchange pieces. So it can be both ways. So it depends on your playing style. Some people like to play very positional and solid, and they just go for end games and then crush the opponent in the end game. I prefer middle game and attack, so that's why I keep a lot of pieces in the game. So it depends on the style of the player. Yeah, it's a closed position, so knights are better. Rook a c8. So now Alicia wants to play c4 and do something here. She wants to break open, but you just ignore it and you play rook f1. So this is a really nice move. Why? Because firstly, now you are actually threatening something like g4, and this rook's job on e1 was done, so it's better to keep it on the potential open file. So rook f1 is a good move, I feel. But better would have been, I think, just knight c4, preventing any counterplay. But alright, it's a rapid game, and rook f1 is alright. I think you mean knight e3 to g4, or knight e3 and g4. Both are correct. Both of them can be plans, but black is starting to play c4. So that's why I think this was slightly better, not giving any counterplay. Vijayata, knight f1, knight g3. You saw this. It's a good thing because it's a good maneuver, but you just have to be aware of this move because it will create a lot of problems. For example, if I play this, then c4. If you take, then takes, and suddenly the rook is active. This is hanging. Rook can go here. This pawn is hanging, and even if the bishop is bad, it is still a good defender here. So it can be passive, but if the rooks are active, this pawn will be really strong, and lot of attack for black in this position. So that's why it's important for the knight to be on d2. So rook f1, and here Alicia played a really surprising move. It's really shocking. She played g5. And what should you play here? Like any move you can suggest. Bad pawn structure, yes. Knight g4, the problem is it's under attack right now, Seema. But yes, that can be one plan. You're right. Seema, you're right. Queen h5. Queen g3 is also possible. but I think queen h5 is slightly better. Why? Because just look at this bishop, guys. Like, just have a look at the bishop. Like, the bishop can't come out. It has nothing to do on the board, and it is just going to stay inside. So I don't know why this bishop is here. It's like a pawn right now. Just queen sacrifice is too much right now. You don't have enough play. Just too much. Not working right now. Queen g3 is possible. I think queen g3, idea rook h5, queen h3, and then you just sacrifice here. That can be one idea. Even when I was looking at the game, I thought queen g3 was a good move, but queen h5 is also fine. The main idea of telling you to guess the move was just to show you that this bishop has no life left. It's a dead piece. King h7. So now black is just going to make random moves because he doesn't have a plan. I mean, she doesn't have a plan, and if she had a plan, she would have played something like c4, given up a pawn and done something on this side, because even if you take with the pawn, then queen d7 can be played to attack here. So you have to take with the knight, this, and some activity, at least like something to do. But she just played king h7, and now Vantika played rook g3, but she again should have played something like knight c4, but she didn't. She played this so that she can play h4 and then probably capture here and have some threats. So practically rook g3 is a good move because you're pressurizing your opponent that you have a threat with something like h4. Or even one more thing could be something like rook into g5. So I'm just going to waste a move and show you what can be one threat. You just take here, takes, and right now it's probably not working, but something like this is possible. Right now queen f8 is there, but some ideas with rook sacrifice are possible. So that could be one idea with rook g3. Her opponent played rook h8. So she is still clueless and she is not taking this break with c4, which is really important. And now can you tell me what should white play? Just you're right, knight c4 is one move. Any other move? Hello Ashrita. Okay, so knight c4 and pawn h4, right? So right now, since this has moved already, so we know that she is focusing on this side, so you have to keep her tied. So h4 is a good move, but right now again c4 is a problem, so knight c4 should have been played, but she played h4. So both the moves are correct, h4 and knight c4, but she played h4 just to keep pressure, and practically it's a good thing. King g8. So the idea of Seema, you're right. Vijita, rook h3, you just played rook g3, so rook h3, probably not. Seema, you're right. This pawn h4 is correct. Rook h8. Ashwin, you too. Hello Raj. Alright, so practically this is a good thing, and the idea of rook h8 was very different, and it is a good thing that Alicia found this. She's defending very passively, but she has some plans. And king g8 was played. So king g8, only chess, you're right, h4 was played, and king g8, can you tell me what the idea is? Raj, I think someone else is going to cover that game. But I can explain you what exactly happened in the final. It was something different, never happened before. So can you tell me what the idea of king g8 is? What is black trying to do? Just rook f4 again will be too much, because takes, and then like she has enough pieces now. This rook has come here, so h7 is not a weakness, and she can fly here with the king, like she can just escape. You're right, only chess. So she played king g8 in order to play king f8, king e8, and king d7. So yeah, king on the run. So that is her plan, and here I think Vantika got slightly confused because she didn't understand what to do, how to prevent the king from getting here. And Alicia found this good defense. Activate rook. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, even to unpin the pawn, correct. Yeah, to escape, you're right. So rook e1 was played, and then king f8, and c4 was played. So finally she played this move. She realized that c4 can be played, but right now, to be honest, c4 wouldn't have been a threat. Why? Because the king is already going to this side, so she doesn't want to open like from here. She just wants to close this and then have some play on the king side. Knight f3. Yeah, it was possible to play knight f3, maybe. Knight c4 was played. You're right, Vijita. King e8. So king is just escaping. Black is not doing anything. Black will just take the king to a7 or even c7, and it will be safe. And right now a5 pawn was sacrificed, but I think Alicia could have played something like this, or maybe something like this. And again rook a6. If she gets rook a6, king goes to c7. I think it's just difficult to break in this position, because all the pieces are like, it's just too closed, and only way was possible, which was possible, was queen e2, exchange, and get the queen inside. So it's a lot of geometry here, like with the pieces. King e8, and now knight into a5 was played, which is correct, because you're getting a free pawn, so you should capture it. And still here also the bishop cannot come out. It is like just dead. Nothing, no diagonal for the bishop. King d8, and again you come back. Yes, knight b6 was another possibility, Vijita. Which move? Only just which move she should have played before, so that the king couldn't come. Knight b3, knight c4. I think you mean knight b6 and knight c4. Yes, that was possible. So what is she saying is basically to play something like king e8 and like this, right? So the rook moves, and then you get this knight here. That is also a possibility. Yeah, it is very much possible. You're right. But this happened, king c7. So just imagine, guys, the king has come to c7 from h7. So a long walk for the king, definitely. And so the king is safe, but white is a pawn up, and this king can be under some attack. Also, you have to be aware of g4. So for instance, you play a move like something like, okay, when this was here, you get this knight here instead of that knight, and for this you play just in case you move the knight from here, you just have to be aware of this g4 move. Why? Because the queen is trapped, and queen can't return if g4 is played and it is supported. So she realized that, and she played queen e2 very quickly so that she can move the knight and also maybe enter with the queen on this side. So it is, you can say that, whenever you're already active and you have more pieces which are really active and are towards the center, or like anywhere close to the center, and you're attacking, you can always shift the attack very quickly than your opponent, because your opponent is firstly trying to defend, and secondly his pieces are not coordinated enough, so he can't just get the rook on h8 to b8 very quickly, or he can't get this bishop to this side to protect all these weak squares. You're right, that is possible, Vijeta. You can maybe even sacrifice the a pawn if required and then open the a file for the rooks. It's possible. Raj, Vishy sir's lectures will be on the platform, so you will have to subscribe to Unacademy for that, like Unacademy subscription. So you can do it right now also, like for the first month it's just ₹99 if you use the code. Okay, h5, and so you realize that black is trying to, finally black has some breathing space after h5. Alright, because now if she gets g4, then the bishop will be like super active and this rook will be trapped and it won't really have any squares. So I'll just make a few moves so that you understand. And then, like, I'm just making random moves with white, but this rook is pretty much trapped. Yeah? Alright. Just you don't require webcam for learning chess in Unacademy. You can just chat as you're chatting on live chat right now. So you can even ask questions, you can send images if you have any queries or anything. There can be polls and everything is there, so that will be easier for you to learn. So c3 was played, and c3 is a good move again because you want to break open this now, this queen side, so that you can attack here. Rook b8, queen c2, bishop h6. So can you see, guys, that this bishop has finally come to life, and now Vantika will have some problems because this rook, and even though this king is out in the open, even your king will be in some danger, because if this is played and rook g8 and some attack on your king. Also, this knight has a good outpost on e5, that is, it cannot be moved from with the help of any other white pawn. So the main mistake was, guys, here to play queen e2. I think she should have just captured here, and if queen into e5, then this was a check, so black would probably have to capture with the pawn, and then you just sit with knight c4, like just sit, nothing's going to happen. Alright, so queen d2, this bishop at 6. Now she captured rook into b4. So can you understand that black is the one who's going to activate right now, and the position quickly changes, like very quickly. It just the pace of the position increases very quickly because the position suddenly opens up. Knight a3 in order to play knight b5 and block this rook here. Takes rook h3, rook g8. So who do you think is better here, guys? Like what is your gut feeling about this position? Is white better or is black better? It's always good to know, like it's always good to check, like if your gut feeling is correct. So if you're using an engine, or if you are seeing a game and then you are reading that white is better or black is better, or you're studying from books and you can see the moves. So in those situations you should always ask yourself, what do I think, if white is better or if black is better? So That way you improve your understanding of the game and also the feel for the game. Yeah, that is possible, Vijeta. That is one possibility. But is white better or is black better? I'll just have some water. This game actually proved to be important because when we were watching, we thought that Vantika will just win the game, white is better, and that didn't happen, and the game ended in a draw. But it was a really nice game. Like, the positionally, it was really nice, and unfortunately, Alisha found this defense. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult for black to survive in that position. Okay, Vijeta, white is better. You're right, white is still better, but it's not that better as it was. So now definitely black has play. This move is there. Knight g4 can be played, bishop into e3, queen can come here, or h6. So g7 or h6 the queen will go to, and definitely a lot of counterplay for black. Knight b5, king b8, takes, and now what do you think about the position? Okay, queen e5 was played. So, and now what do you think about the position? Who is better? So how do you decide who's better? Just look at how many points in the game are active. So you compare these two pieces. Which is a better piece in this? Almost the same strength, I believe. Like, almost the same. Here. Then you consider these two pieces. Can you tell me which is a better piece amongst these two? Hello, Jrupa. Queen a2. Okay. Only just feels black is better. Alright. Okay. So, you are right, it is almost the same, but the problem is that this rook is anyways planning to go to b2, and that is why black is slightly better. Why? Like, very tiny edge, because you are already attacking. This rook is not really doing much, it's defending, it's not attacking, and this rook is basically controlling like 1 2 3 4 5 6 squares, and also here 4 squares, so 10 squares. And you can consider h8, but it's not useful. But for this rook, it's just protecting this and protecting against bishop e3 or something of that sort. So it's not really an active rook. But this rook is on an open file, pretty much like semi-open file, and attacking this pawn. So that is why black has tiny edge. So that's how you compare the rooks, and that's how you compare the pieces, and then you realize if you're better or if your opponent is better. Dhruba, you mean rook h4? I think you also mean this move. But the problem is that rook b2 and then this is hanging, right? So you have to defend against this threat. So now black is active. Rook b1 was played here because, as I mentioned, rook on e1 is not doing much, and you have to prevent this. So you just play rook b1. Rook g4 was played, and I think here rook g3 was better. Not this, rook g3. Why? Because now bishop e3 is a threat. This is not protecting the e3 square. After this, the queen can enter. So lot of possibilities. So I'll just show you. This is the problem, like queen f4 and even bishop e3. So if this happens, then black wins the game, and also we lose against Poland because this was an important game. Bishop h4 is not possible, Dhruba. I think you mean bishop f4. Bishop f4 is one move that is possible, but bishop is doing fine. So rook g4 was played instead of rook g3, and not a bad move, but rook g3 was slightly better. So rook into b4 takes, and c5. So c5 was actually a bad move, because now you've given your opponent the move. So if bishop e3 or rook g3 is played, then it can be problematic. But also, practically speaking, here both of them had very less time on their clocks, and you're giving a lot of options to your opponent. So queen a1 is one move, then bishop f4 is one move, rook into e4 is one move, rook g3 still is one move. So a lot of options. This move is possible, and so it's very difficult for black to think what to do here. And she just quickly played rook into e4 and thought maybe it's good to capture here and play something rook e1 or something of that sort. And luckily Vantika played c into d6. Had she played something like maybe rook, had she played something else like knight d6 or anything like apart from c6 or cd6, it would not have ended in a draw. And now rook e1, it may look as if black is just going to win very quickly, but that's not the case, because rook e1 you just play king f2, and hard to believe, but there is not a serious check possible. So this, then you just win this, and that's why you survive. Queen a1 was played, which was tricky, and now king h2. Obviously king f2 doesn't work, because queen e1 is a queen e1, and then king f3, and then queen e3 is a checkmate. So that's why, or even rook e3, it's up to you how you want to mate. So king h2, and now can you tell me what should black play here? It looks really scary for it is black to play Dhrupa. Just you two. Pawn to a5. I mean, the action is taking place here and you have to defend, so that's why it's not possible. Alright, so here bishop f4 was played, and it is very scary. Like, while you're playing this, you don't know, like, you can't calculate because you don't have much time, and just a lot of things are happening, right? It looks almost lost, but it's not. Takes, and king g2. So now you have to find the only move with black. There is just one move which is drawing the game. Otherwise, it's going to be 1-0 very quickly. This is there. It's black to play just. Vijita, you are right, bishop f4. So this is going to be a mate if you don't do anything, or queen c8. So what should be played? How do you prevent against queen c7, or how do you just... What should be black's move here? Dhrupa, queen into e4, it's black's move, it's not white's move. Okay, h4, I can play queen c7 again. How do you defend against this threat, queen c7? There's just one move possible. You have to defend and attack at the same time. And there's just one move that is working, which Alisha found. So Alisha played here rook c4, and that is the only move possible. Why? Because you're defending against this. And can you tell me what happens to this? Vijay, you mean rook e2? No, rook e2 I'll just capture. And if you mean queen e2 here, that's what happened in the game. So again, this is a threat. So how do you defend against it? Only chess, you're right. Vijayta, I think you mean bishop e3 here, but it's not going to help. Or probably you mean it here, bishop e3. Okay, so queen c4, the idea is to play queen b2, and now it's like a forced perpetual because king goes to g1, then queen f2 is a problem, so you just go back king h1, queen a1, king g2, queen b2, so perpetual checks here, right? And the game ends in a draw. So what happens to queen e2? How do you defend against this? Dhruba, yes, queen c4, then I can give perpetual checks. Right now black is playing for a draw. He's not playing for a win. He understood that, the pawns are really strong. The d6 and d6 pawn, and in general this knight here, it's pretty strong. Bishop e5, yes, Ujan, bishop e5 is possible. So you just want to defend against this threat, right? But what if I play d7 then? So my idea is to play d8 firstly, and you cannot stop that. Also, now you don't have any perpetuals, so that is one problem. Vijayta sees rook c8. Rook c8 is possible, but it is slightly passive, I would say, but it's possible. You're right, rook c8 is one move that is possible. Only chess, you're right, correct. Rook e4 was played, so now you have this perpetual also on the queen, or you can give a perpetual on the king. Again, after queen into e4, you have the same, this move, queen b2, king h1. I can even play queen c1 here because the queen is not here. This, queen d2, king h1, queen c1, and soon they just accepted the draw, and we got an equal result in the second round of India versus Poland, that is the semi-finals. And then there was an Armageddon between Humpy and Monica Soko, which Humpy won, and then we went on to the finals. So this was an important game, guys, because had Vantika lost this, we would have been out in the semi-finals. Yeah guys, I hope you like this game, because I found it really useful, like how Vantika played, and she kept the bishop on g7 inside for a very long while. Most of the game this bishop wasn't active. Queen f4. No, I'm giving checks, right? So white cannot really capture. Alright guys, so let me just quickly tell you about the Unacademy subscription, since I think few of you guys are not able to subscribe. So I'll just show you. So you just have to go to unacademy.com and make sure in the goal you have chess, and then you can click on get subscription. You can see below that how many coaches are there and who are all the coaches. So you'll get to learn from Anand, Kramnik, and all the top coaches. So do subscribe guys, and if you use my referral code here, Parnali 16, and then you apply it, right now it's showing 1500, but if you apply, then it will show just ₹99 for the first month. And this offer is only valid till 5th of September, so hurry up guys, and do subscribe. And in any other options, so there are 5 options, so if you choose any other options, you will get a 10% discount. So if I cross this, you can see right now it's just 17%, which will go on to 27%. This will be 35, 64, and 24 months will be an unbelievable discount. It will be like 77% discount if you use my code, so almost 450 per month. So definitely you should subscribe guys, and that's all for today. So good luck guys, and take care, stay safe. I hope you don't have any doubts. If you do, you can just let me know very quickly. We still have 2 minutes. Alright guys, stay safe and take care. I'll see you on 3rd September. So I have a session on 3rd September which is going to be a speed run, and so right now the whole week is going to be a celebration week because we won Olympiad gold for the first time. Kowai, there are free courses that you can check out on the platform, and obviously the YouTube lectures. So here if you go and you subscribe, or even if you just register, you will have that option of special classes or free courses. Thank you guys. Good luck, take care.